You joining me this morning at New Church Live in our 10 minutes of morning calm. And today we're looking at is the topic of spotting it. And we've been looking at this book, Secrets of Heaven, which is a canonical book in the Christian New Church tradition, and it deals with the Bible commentary, what the deeper sense of the Bible is, and how we can look at the Bible and see these beautiful poetic truths. And the poetic truth we're looking at today, it's a pretty fascinating one. That idea that there are giants out there, there are overwhelming things, and those are some of the challenges we have to move through on our journey to the promised land. I think promised land there in quotes. Think of that as heaven. Think of that as moving forward to these beautiful parts in our life. But it's like any adventure book. It's filled with lions and tigers and bears. It's filled with a lot of different challenges we work through. And again, important to note, that's what actually makes the story pretty good, is that there are those challenges that we sort through. And today we're talking about is spotting it. It's a beautiful part, and I find it deeply beautiful part of Christian New Church theology, is this idea that we are all a mixed bag. We are not totally depraved beyond any hope of salvation, and therefore a need just to throw ourselves on the mercy of God, nor are we so good that we don't need any help, that we're just autonomous human beings, everything's good, we're good, 100% great. No, we're always this mixed bag of things. We've got this beautiful inner core, inmost self that is deeply connected to heaven, and then we have all kinds of inherited hereditary tendencies that pull us in different directions, and that's where we get into compulsions. And it's always this battle between compulsions and best intentions from a Christian New Church perspective. We're always battling. I feel a compulsion to do this, and I have best intentions to do that, and we're always kind of in that middle place between those two things. And today I want to talk a little bit about like spotting how can we spot some of those things that are sort of out of kilter. And there are obvious ways. We're just looking at one in particular. And it's based on this idea that my dear friend Peter Rhodes is constantly reminding me of, which is he constantly says and reinforces the idea, look, if it's coming from a bad place, it's automatically false. It's by default, it's false. Now it may appear true. It may have a temporary moment where it is true. It's that famous saying, even a clock that's stopped is stopped, tells the right time twice a day. But at its core, it's just not true. And that's where we have to be so careful if we're coming from sort of a compulsive, frenetic, fear-driven place, to remember that any thought that comes out of that, in all probability, is going to be false. And that's what I want to read a little bit about that today. And again, it comes down to loves that are kind of off kilter. Persuasive lies result, and think falsities there. Persuasive lies result from self-love and materialism. So in other words, these are these falsities that can really start to benefit. They look persuasive. They look really good. Those resulting from self-love or selfishness, here it's really narcissism to an extreme. Those resulting from narcissism carry with them an urge for absolute power. So first off, if it's all about that selfishness, that narcissism, we'll know that that's one way to spot it, is if it's about absolute control. I feel like I have to have absolute control over all things. That's a big warning sign. And then there's a second one, which is persuasives rising out of materialism, and that's it's not that owning things is bad, but it's the need to own everything that's bad. Persuasions riding out of materialism, on the other hand, do not run as wild. They drive us crazy, however, with dissatisfaction over our lot. So if it's coming out of just this materialism, just I need more stuff, more and more stuff, more and more stuff. If we're insatiable that way, we will find ourselves deeply dissatisfied. Like the person who, I think, I'll totally forget his name, Bernie Madoff. Lots of money, but still always wanted more. That's what it's talking about there. Both of those set up these persuasive lies. And again, it's not about finger pointing at other people. It's about knowing, this is true of ourselves. And one way to look at that is to remember that, boy, if I am searching for absolute power in something, that will create a whole set of falsities around it that will justify that effort. And if on the flip of it, if I also see as well that I'm just find myself just constantly chasing after it, whatever it is, and never finding satisfaction. In other words, We buy a new car. All we wanted was a new car. We get a new car. We're not satisfied. We're just, as soon as we get it, we're ready for the next new thing. That's also should be a way to spot it. And again, it's not about pointing us out saying bad you, wrong you, horrible you. This is about saying like, this is what we do in life. And part of spirituality is this sacred no, where we really have to be clear, crystal clear of like, oh yeah, those are areas where I see myself off track. If we're all about absolute power, if we're all about acquiring things, we can never find satisfaction. So what do? Well, we just make a few little micro adjustments. That's it. I mean, that's so much of what life is. We just figure out ways to make micro adjustments, just small little changes. Yesterday, I was working with a couple, and I really wanted to like. They said they would like to do this as part of a ceremony, and I really had a big opinion about like, no, they need to do this. And it was just for a second, I wanted to tell them what I thought they should do, and then it was this beautiful reminder, like, nope, that's a little bit controlling. I can just be quiet and just realize I'm here to serve. Just that simple. It's a small little micro adjustment. It may be simply not saying something when you feel like you should be. That helps to just create a softer sphere and a softer sense of things. And I certainly would want all of us folks, like we just gotta smile about all this stuff, because the Lord never leaves us bereft. It's not like we're just left with these compulsions and these persuasions that are just so dire and so awful. And they're really challenging. But we come well armed, and the well armed is with your best intentions. Just think about that. Like all of you, every single one of you watching today or tomorrow or in the weeks ahead has a best intention in your heart. And just call that to mind for a second. That's the antidote. Like, you want to know your way out of these persuasions that are sort of false and get us totally off kilter. Well, just pay attention. Start to pay a little bit more attention to your best intentions, and even asking God in the morning, like, okay, God, best intentions of my heart, like help me out with that this morning, and you will find yourself back on the path in pretty short order. So that's the thought for today, folks. I hope that makes sense. I hope you have a good day spotting it, and when you do make a micro adjustment, and hopefully part of that micro adjustment is just to take a little breath, pay attention to your best intentions, because those will start to lead you home. All right, friends. So that is my thought for today. I hope that makes a lot of sense. And what we're going to do now is we're going to shift. For those of you joining us for the first time, this shift is where we really get to the heart of 10 minutes of morning calm, which is just a quiet meditation, just that simple. We do a little meditation, a little prayer, a little blessing, then we say hi to folks on social media. So with that, dear friends, let's get a little breath. Listen to the prayer bell. Meditation. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's hopefully, fingers crossed, be able to get on to, we've been having a few little Facebook issues here in the morning, so hopefully we can get right to it without any glitches. Let us see what we can do here. It does not seem to want to cooperate. Just hold on one second. Let me just see if I do this, if it works a little bit, just a wee bit better. Let's try that. All right. No, did not take, as they would say, my friends. Oh, there we go. All right. Now it did come up. All right. Kim, good morning to you. And it is indeed a beautiful fall day. I was out on a morning walk and the sunrise is beautiful. It was just gorgeous. Linda writes, good morning. And good morning to you, Linda. And same to you, Marcus. Linda writes, prayers for Lorraine, please. My dear friend, 93 years old, who is in hospice at home after a bad fall. And we certainly will keep Lorraine in our prayers. Thanks for putting that in there. Sherry writes, be quiet is a great shortcut and also leaves us open to listening. It's so true, right? Like, it's just that simple. Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes me giggle, right? So much of it's just like, shut up, just like be quiet. We don't need to listen to all those voices. And it really, silence creates a space into which another voice can speak. And I love that quote. Terrence, great message. I needed that. Same to you too. Mary writes, wisdom to live by. It's a daily practice, and I surely need God's help and reminder. And that is very true. It's just good stuff. And folks, like, I really hope all of you find the humor in this too, because this is what we do. I mean, we had a great small group last night, and we were chatting about this kind of issues, particularly around control issues. And, we were talking about Anne Lamott's great quote, just referenced it very briefly. But Anne Lamott had a beautiful, beautiful quote where she made note of the fact that, how did she phrase it? She said, nothing left my hands without claw marks on it. And I love that line because I think it is very, very true. All right. One last comment here. See if it comes on up. All right. Martha writes, good morning. And great to see you out on the walk yesterday, Martha. That was terrific. And Roland, my Pocono Mountain buddy, great to see you joining us as well. All right, friends. And again, just a quick reminder, if you are joining us from any time, any place in the country, you are more than welcome to leave a comment, even if it's days or weeks later. We do see a lot of those on our live streams. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right, friends, and a final little note on your generous support of New Church Live. Like our content? It's funded by viewers like you. Please consider becoming a sustaining supporter of New Church Live today. Take care, my friends. Have a great day.